Hello everyone, welcome to sun-drenched Parma. It is match 2, game 2 of the Under-20s Six Nations Festival 2024. Scotland versus France. Scotland, well, they were on the wrong side of an absolute cracker against the Italians on match day 1. And France, well, they showed their class. The performance of round 1, putting 9 tries from 9 different try scorers against Wales in the biggest margin of victory that we saw. Both teams, though, have made plenty of changes, both in personnel and positions. For Scotland, Isabel Maguire-Evans and Ria Clark come into the back line for the first time, and Ellie Williamson comes into the engine room, as does Samantha Tigana-Kurukuru. Everyone else either started or came off the bench in round 1. Similar for France, Alice Grandhomme comes onto the right wing. It's her first appearance, and Enoe Neri starts at outside half. There's some changes in the front row as well. Selene Mpari, first time we've seen her. Abonne and Amalia Bazzola, they were both on the bench for round 1. And they're given starting berths this time. There have been a few interesting swaps as well. Taina Maka moves to 7. She started at lock, whereas Lou Roboam, she started at 7 and she starts at lock today for France. But if you've seen any age group rugby, 18s, 20s, it doesn't matter. The French, 1 to 15, all the way to 23, very comfortable playing total rugby. They really are a joy to watch, and it's going to be a big ask for Scotland today. But they came ever so close against Italy in what was a real back and forth game. The first team we've actually seen use their territory to kick for points. Lucy McRae kicking 2 penalties to keep them within scoring distance. Then there was a chip and chase, a kick ahead with the clock in the red, where they were just beaten by the dead ball line. If that goes down, then we've got 2 undefeated teams. However, the bounce of the ball didn't favour Scotland, so they're still looking for their first victory in this inaugural Under-20 Six Nations Festival. 1 game already today. If you missed it, you missed a cracker. Italy good for their victory against Ireland. Ireland managing to get within a score in the end, 24-17, that one finished. Ireland have just got a little bit quicker with their final lineup. Then maybe they'd have had time for a restart. However, they fell to defeat once again. 3 match days in total. It is a festival. It's not a tournament per se. There's no league table. There's no trophy. But of course, there is the competitive edge. Teams wanting to win as many games as they can. And so far, only Italy are 2 from 2. They end their campaign. Game number 2 on match day 3, which is on the 14th. That's against Wales. Final game on that day is England versus France. One that many are looking forward to. Wales versus England closes day 2. But right now, it is time for Scotland versus France. Great to have your company wherever you're watching around the world. Zoe Jean, the number 8, leading France today. Hannah Walker on the left wing, the captain of Scotland, keeping her place. Starting with the 2nd game in a row. She's actually co-captaining the team with Poppy Fletcher. She's going to come off the bench later on as loose head replacement. France in the white, which I'd imagine will be very welcomed given these conditions. Glorious sunshine, temperatures north of 30 degrees. And as a result, there will be a water break on 20 and 60 minutes, but lots of rugby to be played before then. Plenty of spectators have made the journey. It's great to have them in the ground. It's great to have you watching. And an absolute pleasure to be able to bring you every game of this Under-20 Six Nations Festival. A glimpse into the future of this great sport that we love. And trust me, the future looks bright. It's Scotland versus France, and now it's time for the anthems.
And now it is time of the national anthems. Let's start with France. And now Scotland.
Scotland versus France live from Parma. Game 2 on match day 2 of the Under-20s Six Nations Festival 2024. Amber Stamp Dunstan, our referee in charge of this one. Her ARs, Rebecca Piddleston and Sergi Mirko. Stefano Penin is the TMO should we need him. And France get this one underway. Oh, and it's an error to begin with for Scotland. And it's a compound error as well. Oh, the temptation to pick up the loose ball when it's knocked on. What would be a scrum turns into a penalty. And what Scotland would have talked about is having a good start, receive the kickoff, make the carry, clear the lines. Instead, it's a knock on, it's picked up, it's a penalty. And Enoui Neri can nudge that into the corner. And Agatha Fournier has got an unbelievable opportunity here. Oh, it's been stolen though. Pinched at the line out by Scotland. Sublime response, necessary response. Now, can they exit? Molly Poolman, that was, getting her first start today. A bit more structure to this from Scotland. Ria Clark finds Hannah Ramsey, now a little bit of width. Little reluctance to kick for Scotland. Couple of confident carries. The pressure coming in on Hannah Ramsey. Good line speed from France. Really good line speed, in fact. Trapping Scotland in their own 22. How many more phases before they decide to kick? Or is there some space on the edge for the gas? Hannah Walker is quick. She's up to halfway. And it is a good exit. Very nicely done by Walker and Scotland. There's some of that French physicality. Fumble there, gathered at the second time. 2 minutes on the clock. Quite high ball in play time after that initial error, giving France the penalty opportunity. And Scotland just getting a feel for this game. Don't want to spend too much time lingering around halfway though, because any sniff of a turnover, and France will be over that ball. Looking for Walker again. Alice Grondholm gets stuck into her. That'll be a good battle today, those two wingers, Grondholm and Walker. Now that's been left behind. Turnover ball for France. Overrun. It was McRae making the tackle. And another free gift of territory here for Le Bleu. A little missed tackle. More LeBlanc today. There's a hand up there. Ellie Williamson has stayed down for Scotland. And as a result, we'll restart with the scrum, but a breathless hard 2 or 3 minutes there. Scotland finding the edge, finding the gap. And that's what was left behind, and Neri straight on it. Scotland recovered well, got into position well. But then as soon as the play made its way towards Ellie Williamson. Oh, this doesn't look good for Williamson. She's one of the Glasgow Warriors selected today. Also playing for West of Scotland. Her first inclusion of the tournament looks as though it's going to end after just a couple of minutes. I'm reluctant to put any weight on that right foot. And in fact, this is a double blow for Scotland. Oh, this is not the start they wanted. We saw Ireland's game absolutely decimated by early injuries. They lost 3 in the opening exchanges, and Scotland are going to lose 2 here, both in the forward pack. It'll be Holland Bogan and the co-captain Poppy Fletcher coming on.
First 2 replacements for Scotland. Number 1, Chloe Brown, and number 4, Ellie Williamson leave the field. 17, Poppy Fletcher, and number 19, Holland Bogan enters the field.
So Poppy Fletcher and Holland Bogan into the game a lot earlier than they'd have thought. Both started the opening round. And this is going to be a massive challenge for the gas tanker Poppy Fletcher now. We don't often see props playing 75, 76 minutes. But Scotland are going to have to bite down on the gum shield and dig in here, because France got a great opportunity from the scrum to get the scoreboard ticking over. Ana de Almeida given the starting 9 jersey today. It's a new look front row now, with Fletcher joining Craig and Pullman, and Pari, Fournier and Bazola for France. And Amber Stamp wants another look. In it comes, second time of asking. Zoe Jean comes away with it. France already into midfield, and that's been knocked on. Got a little too clustered. Too many Scottish bodies preventing the clean catch. Natasha Logan. So we've got Logan and Bogan reunited in the engine room for Scotland. Two of the standout performers on match day one. Aminata Niakat alongside Lou Vaubaume in the second row for France. Those of you that enjoyed the Under-18s Six Nations Festival in North Wales earlier in the year will be familiar with Niakat and Alice Grandhomme, actually. Both featured heavily. France's very, very impressive campaign at Stadium CSN. McRae carries that directly. They're interested in quick balls, Scotland, aren't they? Holland Bogan gets her first touch. Up the short side they go, looking for Hannah Walker. It is admirable the way they try and run out of trouble, but you can't run yourself into trouble. Amalia Bazola was unlucky not to get the turnover. All of this running, all of this tackling in this heat, typically particularly energy sapping. Another good carry. France a bit too eager at the breakdown. And that is a real gift for Scotland. And another player injured. See what happens here. Who's got their hands on the ball? It's Alice Grandhomme. Well, we're talking about the temperature and how difficult it is for the players. But don't take these great conditions for granted, because in the men's under-20s World Championships at the moment, down in South Africa, the game has been suspended for bad weather. There's video footage from that part of the world coming where the wind is so strong, the waterfalls are blowing upwards. So a nice still hot day. Hopefully it'll be encouraging. Some great running rugby. And we're going to see some fabulous tries in the next two games. Wales versus England still to come after this one. That's back to the way of Molly Poolman. Clean for Scotland, but it'll do. Yeah, McRae in at first receiver. They're not been able to get the ball to Ramsey. They can now. Nice handling, and Scott steps through, finds Rhea Clark. Rhea Clark breaks the line. Vaubaume makes the tackle. And Scotland on the front foot. Caris Craig. Scotland working incredibly hard for this territory. That's the captain, Poppy Fletcher. Picking a go and up the short side. This is lovely stuff from Scotland. France yet to really express themselves. Scotland almost up to the 22 through Holland Bogan into the 22. Hands on the body, not the ball from France. Scotland lining up. Scott, more good feet from her. Shifted from 15 to 13 today in the hope of getting more ball. Pimista is quick. Doesn't want to get bullied into touch, though. Does very well to stay on the field of play. Oh, and then how, after all that hard work, has she managed to put her foot out? She hasn't. Penalty time. Scotland go quickly. Referee happy that France are far enough back. And Poppy Fletcher within 3 meters. First real defensive test for France. First real scoring opportunity for Scotland. Ronald. What a chance this is for Scotland. Bogan. She's beaten away from it, and Scotland are over. Fabulous try for Scotland. The reward for their patience, the reward for their handling, the reward for their reluctance to kick possession away. And with 10 minutes on the clock, It's Scotland 5, France 0. Still so much work to do. France a little bit too upright.
Scotland 5, France 0.
Not really committing, just allowing Scotland. And Tigana Kurukuru, on her first start, gets her first try. And with the conversion, Scotland leads 7-0.
And the conversion kick was a target. Scotland 7, France 0.
Look at this, 3 meters out. Had Bogan in behind, didn't even need the latch. Great power.
We have another.
Look at the body positions for France there. That's lackadaisical defending.
Leave the field and enter the field, number 80, Ellie Fleming.
But more worrying for Scotland. Ailey Fleming is on, which means Molly Poolman is off, which means their front row have got work to do. A big shift required from Fleming and Fletcher. And again, Scotland putting the width on this ball. Trying to find an outlet through Hannah Walker. France yet to get a touch. That's gone backwards and it's opened up. The bouncing ball for Tigana Kurukuru. Oh, and then France get the turnover. They want to run the ball themselves. And this is why. Danger all over the field. Kelly Arby, scorer of the opening try on match day 1. Knocked forward. Oh, and after all that, no Gemma Bell, a big apology. It was her who got the first try. First start for her. Came off the bench last time, hugely industrious. High quality, high energy, blindside flanker. And it was such a good finish. And this has been a fantastic start from Scotland. And yes, there they are, doing their utmost to just stay cool, being in the shade where they can. There will be a break on 20 minutes, an official drinks break. However, there have been so many breaks in play already. Scotland have already lost 3 players to injury, all in important positions as well. Chloe Brown, Molly Poolman, and Williamson, so 2 props in a second row. Doing everything they can to try and patch as many players up and keep them on the pitch. However, player safety, as we know, paramount. Has to be. Has to be. And if there's any risk, particularly in age group rugby, then they have to leave the field. That scrum's a mess. Amber Stamp Dunstan just says play it. And Scotland will. Oh, huge shot! Scott gets absolutely mullered. And with the camera down at this level, it gives us a great idea of the physicality that's out there. Here's Ailey Fleming. And Scotland breaking the line. More real ingenuity here from Scotland, marching up the left-hand side. But now France can come away. Back in the hands of Scotland, and Gemma Bell, the try scorer, offloads to Phimister. And again, it's patience from Scotland. They've not been scared to play in the middle third. Very often teams decide after a few phases to cut their losses and kick clear, but not this Scotland team. They like to play. Here's Scott, looking for gaps. And it's been turned over again, this time France. Through RB, frees the hands. Phimister works hard, can't find the touchline though. And De Almeida finds Neri. And a short ball inside as France start to build. A bit shell-shocked in the first 15 minutes by the quality of Scotland. And it has been quality too, but there goes Niakat. Powerhouse locked forward. Finally a bit of territory for France. A good field position. Number stamp keeps Scotland onside. Another heavy carry and a good tackle by Fleming. Forces the knock on. And a great defensive set by Scotland. That kind of energy sapping defensive set. But when you come out on the right side, it can really, really boost you. 16 minutes gone. And Gemma Bell's try and the conversion, the difference between the two teams. With that, we've got another injury. So this has got the feeling of quite a long game, hasn't it? Just 16 minutes on the clock. But they've been out there 23 minutes. No changes for France just yet.
First France replacement. Number
That's
5,
gonna change now.
in the field. And number 19, Chiara Zago.
And Chiara Zago is going to come in for Aminata Niakat. So Niakat replaced by another of her former under-18s colleagues. Partnered each other in the engine room in the under-18s. Well, as you can see, we're back on the main camera angle now. Apologies for the little technical difficulty we briefly had, but it did mean that we got a proper look pitch side at exactly how hard the players are working out there. And it's taken its toll. It's taken its toll on Chloe Brown, on Molly Poolman, on Ellie Williamson, and now Aminata Niakat. reset with the scrum. Ria Clark. The push coming from France, looking to get that hook. Scotland managed to get it back. Really good work by Caris Craig and co. The hooker and the number 8 doing incredibly well. And this time Scotland do kick clear. First time we've seen that as an option. Fournier. Overthrows that one. And it's back in Scotland's hands. Caris Craig wrestled to the ground. Options both ways. To the left, to the sunshine. And to the pace of Scott. Oh, that one's been left behind. She had options outside it. But the pass wasn't accurate. And the move breaks down. First touch then for Jago. And France opt for the maul. It's at the back with Fournier. Scotland in with the counter. But from an offside position. Penalty advantage here for France. Looking to weave some magic. Albi. A little snipe. Lovely ball in behind to create some space. The dummy thrown, the gap opens up. And Sivi is under the post. Suliana Sivi in at 12 today, having played 11 a couple of days ago, showing all of her skill set. And just like that, France are on the board.
Is the France first try. Scotland 7, France 5.
Suliana Sivi. It was all made by Anna de Almeida, though, wasn't it? Got in behind, freed the hands. Well-timed run from Sivi. Of Stade Rennais. This to level. Oh, it's at the post. That's a gimme. Well, don't take anything for granted in this game. And Scotland still maintain the narrowest of leads. Oh, that's a big miss, a bad miss.
So the score remains Scotland 7, France 5.
Despite all the stoppages for injuries, 20 minutes in, we're still going to have the drinks break. It's taken us half an hour to play 20 minutes of rugby. What an interesting game. Scotland have been fantastic for the opening quarter. Played fearlessly. Not really kicked away possession. They've backed their skill set. All look comfortable on the ball. Try to use the edges in Phimister and Walker as outlets. This game wears on. I have to conserve some energy up front, having lost 2 props and the second row. France have lost 1 second row as well. It's tough going out there, and it's a really big challenge for all of these players. Having to play 3 games at under-20s test match level in just over a week. Big challenge for coaches as well. Important to build these bonds of trust with the players. You know, how many minutes are they capable of? What's the difference between being hurt and being injured? A couple of England jerseys in there waiting for their game against Wales later on. But of course, plenty of saltires and plenty of tricolours. And after their performance the other day, France came into this one as quite big favourites. Certainly, in these first 20 minutes, Scotland have done more than enough to dispel that. I think the ease at which that try was scored is a little bit of a warning sign. Scotland had to work incredibly hard for this, and Gemma Bell, brilliant finish. Strength and guile. Scotland still with a narrow lead. 2 points, 20 minutes into this one. Scotland 7, France 5. Back underway. Oh, now it's knocked on by France, but this time it's just a knock on. And it'll be a scrum to Scotland. More pressure at scrum time from France, and this time they win the penalty. Another overthrown line out, ends up back in Scotland hands. That was Caris Craig there, reaching high, manages to keep hold of it despite the attention to her rib cage. Ramsey. Step back inside by Scott, she's met. Just felt as though Scotland was shoveling that then. Not a huge amount of direction, so Ramsey gets the head down. Turned over. Rhea Clark being taken for a walk. De Almeida. Oh, another knock on. It is error strewn by France. And they just can't get going, can they? The French, there's been a few little signs here and there. But the ball is in the hands of Rhea Clark. Again, the mission for Scotland. Get this ball out as quickly as possible, because France have certainly got the go forward in the scrum. Caris Craig, good work to do. Here comes the push, and it's been turned over against the head. Zoe Jean comes away with it. What an armchair ride she's got at the back of that dominant pack, Zoe Jean. 15 minutes to go until half-time. More huge gaps in the Scotland defence. Kelly Arby offloads. Tumkara is over. France's second, her second of the festival. And France lead for the first time.
France, second try. Scotland 7.
And almost
France
a mirror image
10.
of the first one. Dominance in the scrum. Getting the go forward. Lovely hands. Look at that. Tunkara finds RB and then continues her run. Second touch is so important. Those little tip passes, first of all from Zoe Jean, then from Hawa Tunkara, are the difference. Hawa Tunkara, don't think she'll want to watch that first conversion back. Can she make amends with this one? Absolutely.
Another conversion equals on target. Scotland 7, France 12.
France lead by 5 points.
Another one, France, the replacement. Number 8, Zojin, leave the field, and number 20, Marie Mourlan, enter the field.
Another change. Zoe Jean is off. Marie Mourlan is on. Marie Mourlan, who started at number 8 in round 1. Now here's some of that French confidence. That one presented by Taina Maka. Ooh, nearly by Kelly Arbi. What is the solution here for Scotland? It's there, isn't it? It's got to go back, and Highland has got to get it out as quickly as possible. That was Ramsey's second receiver. And another knock on. Well, handling errors practically grinding this game to a halt. And this time it's France with the opportunity of a launch play. Marie Mourlan now packing down in the number 8 position. She's going to go up the short side to find De Almeida. Another lovely offload to Arbi, who gets herself away. Kelly Arbi gliding through. Arbi, one more fend, one more brave tackle by Phimister. But France flooding forward and desperately close to try number 3. Neri. Oh, France have lost the ball. Scotland have turned that over, forced the knock on. And France have got a bit giddy in the red zone and really let Scotland off the hook. Scramble defense, superb. Kelly Arbi. Beautiful run, but Sky Phimister finding the tackle, making the tackle, finding a way to keep her team in it. And the score remains Scotland 7, France 12. Now, early in the game, Scotland would run the ball from here. I wonder, as we approach 30 minutes, if that tact has changed. 10 to go till half-time. The scrum in reverse. The scrum has been turned over. And it's France again. Scotland are on that ball, but Rhea Clark has to release it. And France can set up camp in the 22 with the luxury of a penalty advantage. Scotland happy enough to slow this ball down.
Replacement number 12, Sulena Civil in the field, and number 22, May Levy, enters the field.
Well, another change. Suliana CV, scorer of the opening try, is going to be replaced by May Levy. She was at outside half, 17 points in that opening victory. 1 try, 6 conversions. I wonder what that's going to mean for the back line. Will she go in at 10 and Enoui Neri move to 12, or will she slot in at 12? Either way, ball players and quality all over the pitch. And here is De Almeida. Oh, and France absolutely walking it in. Léa Trollier. It's a first phase strike move. And Scotland do not lay a glove on France. They do not lay a glove on Léa Trollier. And it's 17-7.
Scotland 7, France 17.
But it took them a while to settle. France, didn't it? It's almost as though they needed that water break. And another successful conversion for Tunkara. And another 2 points on the board for France.
A conversion. Target. Scotland 7, France 19.
Let's take another look at this. It was so easy, wasn't it? But it was beautifully executed. First of all, Morland finds the scrum half to create the extra. Tunkara, alongside Neri, takes out 3 Scotland defenders, and then Trollier can just stroll in. Difference there, 68 carries for Scotland, just 30 for France. They've gone through a lot of hard work. Oh, nearly by Grandhomme. Still just under 6 minutes, though, for Scotland to try and do something here. Just see a few heaving chests there as the hard graft of the opening 35 minutes starts to catch up with them. I think the half-time whistle will be a very welcome one for Scotland, particularly if they can get some more points on the board, get themselves within a score. And the most essential thing is that they don't concede again. And if Rhea Clark has got any sense, she will feed this in behind the number 8's feet, but instead France have just dominated that Scotland scrum. They're either turning the ball over or they're winning penalties, and it's impossible for Scotland to get a foothold, and that's where sometimes the game's a strange one, isn't it? You're in that position because you've made a mistake. It was France that knocked the ball on, but then they end up winning the penalty. Caris Craig is the latest to be in a little bit of trouble. And they will not let her move her head or neck until they have a good look at her. But given the state of the play, as we always talk about, player safety is paramount, particularly around heads and necks and HIA. If there is any suspicion, then she will be hooked. And quite right too. They've got Ayla Ronald waiting in the wings to cover hooker. And while we're waiting for this to be seen to, what has ended up being quite a long half, over 45 minutes now since kick-off. It was Scotland who scored first. Gemma Bell, after a really good opening 10 minutes for Scotland. They absorbed what France threw at them and just ran the ball from everywhere. They lost a few players early on. Chloe Brown, Molly Poolman, Ellie Williamson, all going off injured. Wasn't one-way traffic either, because Aminata Niakat went off for France as well. They've since lost Zoe Jean, the captain. And Suliana Sivi at inside centre. And just like that, Caris Craig is straight back in the game. Made it tough stuff. But yes, Gemma Bell, that try was converted. And then just before the water break, it was Sivi who got the first try for France. All three have been scored by backs, Léa Trollier and Hawa Tunkara. But they have all been off the work of the forward pack, who have been absolutely dominant. The scrum of France has just dismantled Scotland. And as a result, with 5 minutes to go until half-time, they find themselves back on the 22. Fournier goes to the front. And once again, the forwards go to work the maul, making meters. Bogan trying to wrestle something, but France break away. And Nery out of the back, short ball, good line. Scotland can't wrap up the hands, and Arbi can go drifting around the outside that she does so well. Offloads to Nery. And France back in the 22. The last few visits have yielded 7 pointers. Here is the number 7, Taina Maka, taking Scotland players for piggyback rides. D'Almeida picked up so well off the toes. That's a good gain line carry, a huge gap that Levy tries to attack. And then Scotland close it. I think they're one short on their left-hand side again, Scotland. But France are going to go left to the Scotland right instead, trusting the big carrying forwards. And that's why. And now they set. It's up to Scotland to try and get something, someone underneath it, to perhaps try to absorb that and hold the ball up. Instead, France can go through more phases. But they've got under the ball. Good defence from Scotland. Natasha Logan was there, Rhea Clark was there. There was no space for the ball to get dotted down. Yeah, Kiara Zago. In her first appearance with the under-20s, or her first tournament with the under-20s, super athletic lock forward, really impressive in the Under-18s festival. Absolutely gallops into open space if she's given the opportunity, and here she is clearing out. Now Scotland looking weary, looking tired, and Bazola takes full advantage. Amalia Bazola gets France's 4th try. Scotland in reverse. Bazola very much not in reverse, powering through.
Another France try. Scotland 7.
And France have sensed
24.
fatigue, they've sensed weakness in Scotland, and they have taken full advantage. It was Caris Craig, wasn't quite set to make the tackle. And the moment you're passive against someone with as much go forward as Bazola, you are in deep trouble. Scotland find themselves in deep trouble now, trailing 24 points to 7. Awa Tunkara to add the extras. That's another excellent conversion. And after missing one from pretty much bang in front of the post, Awa Tunkara has drained 3 beauties. 7 points to 26 now. That is 13 tries that France have scored in the tournament so far. 12 different try scorers. Arbi stays in field. Are we going to get any more points before half time? We're into the last minute. Loose ball, Levy offers the little hitch kick, takes it to outside the 22 where Highland makes the tackle. And Scotland have pinched that. Holland Bogan. Great turnover by the lock. Oh, what a tackle! Caris Craig gets rattled. Scotland still on the ball. It's Maguire Evans off the toes. Now McRae. As the clock ticks towards 40. Scotland with the opportunity. Logan. Up the short side. Back into Walker. No room for her to dance through. Another strong carry. Natasha Logan. It's bruising and it's brutal. Ramsey. Another carry from Logan. Serious engine from her. She finds Fleming. Has that gone backwards? No, there was no advantage coming. So penalty Scotland. Now this is a position they went for the poles from in the first game. They're going to do the same here, which is an interesting decision. Doesn't really benefit them a huge amount. It's a 3-score game. And even if they kick this, it'll still be a 3-score game. But Lucy McRae's got a trusty boot. Kicked her penalties against Italy. And as the game wore on, they proved to be valuable points. Lucy McRae in what should be the last act of the first half. Sends it goalwards. Misses that to the right. France have kept that in field. Scott steps one way, steps the other. Gets driven to the ground. The ball still in field. An end to the half. The clock keeps ticking. Another penalty. But you know, we're getting to the point here where if the second half takes as long as the first half, they might have to delay the kickoff for the second game. So the time currently 7:25. And game number 2 is due to kick off at 9 p.m.
Only one for us, replacement number 7, Taina Maka leaves the field, and number 16, Marion Zulu enters the field.
Joblot coming on. Right, that's been nicked by France. Are they going to kick this out? Are we going to have a breather? Yes, we are. So with Joblot coming on, she's usually covering hooker. Is she going to be covering the back row? That remains to be seen. What we do know is it's half-time here in what has been a real tough slog of a first half. 55 minutes it's taken to play the 40 minutes of rugby. Scotland took the lead through Gemma Bell, but it's been 26 unanswered points from France since then. Tries from Sivi, Trollier, Tunkara and Bazola. Tunkara 3 from 4 off the tee, which means at half-time in Parma, Scotland 7, France 26.
Lascia andare il tempo tutte le volte che puoi, perché se no non la finiamo più stavolta.
Teams out for the second half. Well, team out, should I say. France ready to go, no surprise. They are very much in the ascendancy at the moment. And now the main stand casting a long shadow here in Parma. But it is still north of 30 degrees. Tough conditions for these teams, but it's producing some great rugby. We're delighted that it's on. We are now officially halfway through the festival. 4.5 games gone, 4.5 games to go. 1.5 today, because Wales are playing against England. That's 9 p.m. local time. And it's 20-8 now, so these guys are going to have to get a shift on. Kelly Albi, serious talent in this French team. One of the players, one of the 3 players over 20. All the teams are allowed 3 players under 23 in a development sense. Scotland just keeping everyone waiting here. But they'll want to come out rested and recharge, but also knowing that there are some players that have got a big shift with a few more miles on the clock than they'd have liked, those front row replacements. Take a look. Some really interesting stats there. No surprise that Scotland have had more possession, particularly given the fact that they've carried so much ball and been reluctant to kick. Not got it here, but they've also made a lot more carries. That 70% tackle success, though, they'll not just want to improve that, they'll need to improve that. You can't miss 3 out of 10 tackles against a team as dangerous as France. France, though, because of Scotland carrying more ball, they've made more tackles. And France winning that territory battle, but of course, winning the most important battle of all, which is the scoreboard battle. 26 points to 7. So I've just got the joke on that Scotland flag up Holland, because of course Scotland notoriously not England supporters. And in the men's football, England will play Netherlands, Holland, in the semi-finals of the Euros tomorrow. Always out here making friends. Scott gets the second half underway. And that is a clean catch. They have been a rarity in this game. Both teams have managed to make a real meal of the restarts, but it'll be France on the ball for the first time. 4 tries in the bank, 13 for the tournament overall. And they are really keeping the scorers busy. Excellent work at the breakdown though. Natasha Logan winning the penalty. Scotland thought they were going to end the penalty with end the half, should I say, with 3 points on the board, but McRae, it was a rare wayward one that ended up in 3 or 4 minutes more play. But they're going to opt for the 3 again. Try and chip away at this France lead. McRae needs to go, does go. Up go the flags and the first points of the second half. Go Scotland's way. why you go for the points, of course, and if they'd have picked up the other ones, then all of a sudden it's a 2-score game, but still a 3-score game. Bags of time. My Levy has taken over kicking duty. Good chase. But again, a clean catch from Scotland. 2.5 minutes of this second half gone. It's Rhea Clark. A decent shot there by Neri on Lucy McRae, fresh off that 3-pointer. And the counter from Neri as well. Brilliant work from the 10. How about that from the outside half, creating something from nothing, first with the tackle, then with the counter. Now there's space and numbers and gaps appearing inside the 22. Trollier brought down, but Scotland on the rack. Morland. Ball pops up as France are always looking to recycle, but they can slow it down now and rely on some of these brutal hitters. Jago is one of them, as is Morland. And France marching towards 5 points. Out the back it goes. And Neri. Oh, now Robaume. Joblot. Again, Scotland stop France just short, but don't manage to get him over the line to hold them up. And Ana de Almeida snipes through. France bounce straight back. First attack of the second half, first try of the second half. And Ana de Almeida gets her first of the tournament.
Scotland 10, France 31.
And the France forwards just tenderising Scotland. And then de Almeida knew exactly what she was going to do. Drifts across, heavy step off the left peg. Tunkara. Oh, the clock will be ticking here. Still hasn't got the ball on the tee. She'll probably be a bit nervous about this one, given it's almost identical to the one she missed in the first half. It's an interesting kicking style, isn't it? It's a bit more soccer than rugby, but it works. She's 3 out of 4 so far. Swings the lead at that to go 4 out of 5.
The conversion kick was on target. Scotland 10 and France 33. We have 4 France replacements. Number 1, Solène Paris. Number 3, Amalia Bazola. Number 15, Kelly Arbey. Number 9, Anna de Almeida in the field.
We're back
17,
underway.
Bolak. Number 18,
As France make a raft of changes.
Number 23, Cleo Ager. And number 21, Eneka Labery, enter the field.
Well, you've heard that from the stadium announcer, but just in case, I'll go through them. Both props have been replaced. Mylis Borak and Iliana Akolast coming on at loose and tight, respectively. Enika Labere comes on to replace De Almeida. So De Almeida's try was her last contribution. And then Cleo Agel coming on for Kelly Arbey. There is Levy. Rugby in Montpellier. So the spread of the clubs, no real dominant club.
Replacement, Gemma Bell, number 6. Leave the field and number 20, Laurie Walter.
Scotland's try scorer, Gemma Bell, is off as well. Lauren Walter coming on. She started in the back row in game number 1. There is Walter Oops, didn't expect that. Should have wrestling match here with Tunkara. And the ball's gone forward. And that is France's bench entirely empty now. Scotland's not far off either. They're keeping their powder dry with the backs at the moment. Douglas Ainsworth and Conkey not deployed just yet. Rhea Clark. Well, the ball's at the back, but someone needs to get it. And it's France who pick it up through. Morland marching into the 22 again, and that scrum is a real issue. Laberré, short ball to Borac. She bowls forward. And when they've got go forward like this, these French pack just go hunting. They're finding meters pretty easy to come by. They're over the line. Have they grounded it? Yes, they have. Well, Scotland in reverse. And all that effort in the first half is starting to take its toll. Patrice Grasse-Libali. Another try scorer. Another first-time try scorer. The spread is absolutely bonkers. Look at that, straight into Walter. The latch was good. Morland adds her kilos. Change of kicker. May Levy looking to add to her 17 points. Scored in the opener against Wales. And France up to 40.
The conversion kick was on target. Scotland 10, France 40.
Patrice Grasse-Libali. 10 minutes of the second half gone. 2 tries for France in that time. Oh, good catch. And the kick to compete works for Scotland. They've got some hands on the ball. France flying off the line. Rhea Clark reassesses the options one way, then the other. She gets clattered by Morland. The ball's loose. It's back in the hands of France. Libali gets hands on it. Laberré. Nery. Lovely handling from the French here. Hagel helps it on its way. Joblot is out there in the wide channel. It's gone backwards. Scotland rush up, missed the tackle. Make it at the second time of asking. Levy takes it to the line. A little knock on. I think this will be the frustrating thing for France. They are largely the better team, but these lapses of concentration. Another potential injury here for Scotland, and we are getting into uncontested scrums territory, which wouldn't be the worst thing for Scotland. In fact, dare I say it, it would be ideal. Because that is one area of the game where France have been totally and entirely dominant. 52 minutes of the game gone, 12 minutes of the second half, and this is where we are, keeping an eye on the clock here, because it's just over an hour until the next game kicks off. So Ailey Fleming doing the test on the left ankle. They've applied the tape. She's going to want to continue. Unfortunately, she's not going to be able to. Kelly Arbe pops the vest on. And this is now a real problem for Scotland, because they lost Pullman early. Now they've lost Fleming. They don't have another tight head available. So Ayla Ronald comes in, and unfortunately we don't have the benefit of ref Mike, but this will be a conversation they're having about what the scrum is going to look like, whether or not she's comfortable scrummaging a prop. In fact, the conversation is going to continue. Amber Stamp makes her way over. And confirmation then, it will be uncontested scrums, but that means that Scotland will be down to 14 players. So Ayla Ronald, having just come on, is going to be going straight back off again. And that is a real strange quirk of the game, isn't it? But eventually, we'll have a bit of rugby. Well, the demonstrations continue. And the clock starts to tick again. 52 minutes gone. Scotland 10, France 40. Uncontested scrums, which means Scotland can finally get a platform to attack from. I think that'll be frustrating for France. They'd probably rather play against 50 and have that scrum dominance, and that's been ripped clean. Civi's back on, straight back in the game. But the referee not sure. So we have another stoppage. So Hannah Walker stepping in at flanker because you still have to scrum with 8. So Scotland a player down in the back line. Lauren Walter now at number 8. And then Rhea Clark gets the attack going. That was McRae in at first receiver. Ramsey in at second. Scotland up the short side. McRae steps back in after more good line speed from the French. Turned over. Acolast getting her sticky mitts on the ball. La Berret. France open the cat flap. Scotland just looking tired now. It's hard, hot work out there, and they did so much in the first half. Ramsey stands up Jagot. Well, with all the stops and starts, with the substitutions, the injuries, and the law changes, the laws that we've had to check on, the rhythm has gone out of the game a little bit. But still, plenty of time to get it back. Just 15 minutes of the second half gone. France being called into defensive action. Patrice Grace-Libali making the tackle on Scotland, but another offside penalty means that Rhea Clark can tap and go, and Scotland can build again. These were the areas where they had a little bit of joy in the first half, but they were quick and zippy and getting that ball to the edge. It's Isabelle Maguire-Evans at 15 today. Look at this line speed from France, though, still so full of energy. That one picked up off the toes. Loose ball. Half a gap that McRae can't quite get through. There she is again, McRae driving the legs, getting through. Needs an option or needs a good clear out. She gets the latter from Caris Craig. Natasha Logan. Despite this energy from Scotland, despite their reluctance to kick the ball, it's admirable, but then this happens and France turn it over. CV, another strong run, another good offload to Trollier. Trollier back inside to Joblot. And then Borac, still Borac, 1 meter shy. La Berret Thinks about going herself. Levy wants some width on it. Morland, good handling. And a good last-ditch tackle. Laberry snipes and scores. And Scotland, for all of their effort, when you play in that part of the pitch, the moment you concede the ball, you're in trouble. Enneke Laberry is another try scorer for France. This is astonishing. So again, with Scotland spread, slightly overcommitted, a huge gap for Enneke Laberry. So that's 16 tries for France in this tournament now. And to my calculations, only Hawa Tunkara has got 2, so that's 15 different try scorers. France hit 57 against Wales. And with this much time on the clock, the odds are very much on them hitting another half century here against Scotland. Well, that one's going to drift wide. And as we approach the hour, Scotland 10, France 45.
Scotland, we have a replacement, number 2, carries free, leaves the field, and number 16, Ayla Roland.
Well, now, Ayla Roland will get to join the play. She thought she was going to come on, replacing Ailey Fleming when she went off injured. Alas. Uncontested scrums mean Scotland's are down to 14. And at this point, we take a water break. It's been all France since half-time, apart from the first couple of minutes where Scotland won that penalty, got the three-pointer. Since then, the French have taken charge. Both scrum halves, Ana de Almeida and Enneke Laberry, got on the scoreboard. De Almeida, it was her last contribution to the game. And the other try in the second half scored by Patrice Grace-Libali. 7 tries in total. Katie Ainsworth lining herself up for the job that has to be done. So a reminder of what's still to come. Following this, what might be a delayed kickoff, I'll let you know, don't worry about it. It's Wales versus England. The 3 results we've had already on match day 1. Italy 17, Scotland 13. That was a cracker of a game. England comfortable against Ireland, that was 33-10, and France comfortable against Wales, 57-12. It's looking like a similar scoreline here. And then they'll take a breather. Scotland will try and find some props, because their final game is against Ireland. That's the early kickoff on the 14th, that's Sunday. And then Italy versus Wales. And we end with England versus France, which promises to be an absolute screamer of a game. Marion Joblot. Confirmation that Ronald has come on for Craig in at hooker. Here is Ronald getting the instructions from the skipper into the final quarter of the game. Loose ball, well gathered. Ainsworth has come on at outside half for Ramsey. And Scotland got attempting to put boot to ball. Is that an error? Tied defence, broken play. Hagel has got a support line from La Berry. She's chased down by Pimister. Another try saver from her. But France with the wind in their sails, going forward, back in the 22. Kelly Arby's back on the pitch. Kelly Arby is still wrestling for the try line with Isabelle Maguire-Evans. She's managed to get the pass away. And France back in business. Beautiful ball. Quick hands and another try. Zoe Jean, the captain, she's only just back on the pitch. As is Taina Maka, the two back rowers linking up. And that is the half century for France. And yeah, you guessed it, another player scoring their first try of the tournament. Just tipped on, changing the point of attack. It was a good effort from Poppy Fletcher, but a thankless task trying to make that tackle. And a switcheroo where Robon comes off and Maka comes on. Those two interchangeable at lock and back row. Levy. Not this time. But for the second game in a row, France hit 50. So on comes Amy Conkey of Watsonians in Edinburgh in the Celtic Challenge. To get a taste of action here in the Under-20s Six Nations Festival, but a lot of that action is going to be doing exactly what they're doing now, which is defending. But that ball's gone forward from France, the uncontested scrums, remember? Another injury. It is tough going out there for Scotland. Tough going indeed. Such is the physical nature. You've got to take into account the conditions as well. And I've spoken about them quite a lot. But even with this long shadow cast across the pitch now, it's still north of 30 degrees. These, with respect, are not conditions that a lot of these Scottish players are used to playing in. But things change, don't they? Like your hydration changes, nutrition, recovery, all of these things. But that's what these tournaments are all about, these festivals. Getting players used to being in camp, used to being with the national team, what it takes to be away, to be on the road, to be part of a team, to have to play multiple high-intensity games in just over a week. It's an incredible experience, and the first time this festival's run, hopefully, it becomes a regular fixture in the calendar. And continues to grow. Rhea Clark still out there. Walter controls. Clark assesses the options. Everyone stacked to the right-hand side for Scotland. Going to crash their way through. Up over halfway. Still 15 minutes to go. And a loose ball and a foot race that France are favourites for. The second touch is good. The try is good. And France just cannot stop scoring. Any loose ball, any opportunity is being put away. That one loose pass just a little bit behind Hannah Walker. But as a result of Scotland attacking, there's no one at home. This is a good second touch, really easy to overcook that. Oh, France up to 57 already. This kick to supersede what came against Wales. Scotland gathered under the posts, just thinking about ways to finish this game and finish it strong, get some pride back in the performance. Gemma Bell is going to rejoin proceedings. And the flags stay down. And the score has been corrected. The previous conversion was successful. Another look at this. Great patience by Levy. Second try for her. She's having a great tournament. 2 tries in 2 games.
Scotland replacement number 17, Poppy Fletcher, leads the field. And number 6, Gemma Bell, enters the field.
So Poppy Fletcher off. Don't have to replace her with a front rower because of the uncontested scrum. So Gemma Bell back in the game for that one. 12 minutes to go. And that one just in front of Hannah Walker. Just put the brakes on before she caught it. And there is Walker. Not had as many opportunities as she'd have liked. Looked really sharp on the left wing early on in the game. I think Scotland just emptied their tank, burnt their matches a little bit quickly. France again inside their own half. They're going to be attacking from absolutely everywhere as this Scotland defence continues to tire. As you can see there, making the tackle, but France able to make another 5-6 metres. And now some space for Agel. She gets the offload away. Nobody in this tournament is able to offload the same way that France are. Joblot. Laberry finds Levy. Levy whips that one out the back. The crossfield kick needs a good bounce. Turns Walker. Walker gets herself in a bit of trouble. She's taken that back over the line. So it will be France ball. Yeah, not a huge amount that Walker could have done there. Oh, free kick at scrum time on an uncontested scrum. France, what are you doing? Well, it's a free kick, so Scotland can't opt for the scrum anymore. And they can kick directly into touch because they're inside the 22. Ireland earlier on made the mistake of kicking directly to touch from a free kick in midfield and just gifted the opponents a line out from where the kick was taken. God, look at that. France making so many more metres. In fact, double the metres as that ball goes out of the back, and I think both teams just counting down to full time now. So France will get another go from exactly the same spot from the Scotland era. They've got Grantholm loitering with intent out of the back, but they're not going to need it because they're going to stroll through the middle. 60 up for France. And it's all too easy.
21 France, 5 Scotland, and France 62.
I mean, it's a lovely ball. And Kelly Arbe, well, she wasn't going to go the whole 80 minutes without scoring a try, was she? She goes 2 for 2 as well. It's a lovely line. Oh, and France mean business, don't they? And to think for a large part of this game, certainly a large part of the first half, they were not connected at all. But that was down to how well Scotland were playing as opposed to how badly France were playing.
The conversion kick was at Scotland 10, France 64.
Let's just take another look at this. Just that little pop there creates the extra space, doesn't it? Just creates the extra person. And also means that Scotland creep up a little bit. And France can pick their passes and Kelly Arbe can go in. Oh, now there's a bit more space here for Jargot to go strolling up. Oh, lovely offloading, and France are in behind again. It's an excellent tackle from Scott, but France relentless. They want more and more and more. And as the ball goes loose, it just feels like it creates more opportunities, but that's been knocked on by Kelly Arbe. Picked up by Ayla Ronalds. That's a lovely take, wasn't it? How about that tackle by Scott? So important.
Replacement number 11, Anna Walker in the field. And number 21, Rebecca Douglas, end of the field.
So Rebecca Douglas comes in for Hannah Walker.
So number 30, Anna Lucia Scott, for number 10, Anna Ramsey.
Scrum half by trade. Rebecca Douglas, one of the ones who's come up from the under-18s to play in this tournament. Hannah Ramsey returning as well. Oh, the dummy was well read. France on the ball again, looking to work it out to that edge. Still 5 minutes to go. And Scotland still working for turnovers. So last couple of minutes for Scotland to get something from this game then. France home and hosed. And we'll start to talk about the player of the match soon as well. Difficult to choose one for France. They've used the rolling subs really well. Tunkara, brilliant in the first half. As France crept up a little bit offside there. She was player of the match last time, so she's not getting it again. Kelly Albee as well. Has drifted in and out of the game, but when she's been good, she's been really good. It's been a brave effort from France, and McRae and Scott have been good in the centres. Walker had a really sharp start, and the impressive Gemma Bell and the engine room, Bogan and Logan as well. They've really had to dig in when they lost both their props and Williamson early on. But player of the match today is actually someone who didn't start the game. France were quite untidy for large portions of the first half. And they've tidied it a lot in the second. It looked a lot more like a complete team, and I'm putting that down to the fact that May Levy has come on. She's scored a try, she's kicked goals, she's kept things ticking over. And so May Levy is the player of the match today. Here's Ainsworth, good playmaker in her own right, and Tegana Kurukuru. And Ramsey back on the pitch, bit of energy. And France slowing the ball down and turning the ball over. La Berry.
Now we are the player of the match. With number 22 for France, May Levy.
That's whipped away by La Berry. Levy just been announced as player of the match. Hoists that one high, knocked on once, then twice. And we'll have an uncontested scrum. Scotland ball. To finish things. Last chance to dance then for Scotland. France already with the highest total in this under-20s Six Nations Summer Series. A try here for Scotland will mean that they don't get the lowest total. In fact, any points would mean that, because of course there is that one victory, 57-12, a 45-point margin. It's currently a 54-point margin. It's a little bit unfair on Scotland, but France do not have any sympathy with their opponents. They do not care in the slightest that they lost three of their vital forwards in the first half. They do not care in the slightest that they continued to lose players and get injured. That is none of their concern. They've just kept playing and playing and playing and growing into the game. And they are after another try here. They're not quite in behind Scotland. That one's off the boot. And Léa Trollier. La Berry. Into the last minute we go. France opting for the boot again. The kick in behind for Grandhomme. Beautiful kick and a great try to finish. Alice Grandhomme waits until the 160th minute to get her first try of the tournament. And a beauty it was. Identification of space, and that's something that France do so well. We've talked about their catch pass being streets ahead, but that kick was too. It was perfect. And Grandhomme, patient. It's easy to snatch at those and knock them on, but she knew she had time. Got there first, waited, and got the score. And it has been an uncompromising second half from France. Seven second half tries, 11 tries in total. A tough lesson for Scotland, but huge credit, they've continued to play. They just need to find a way to keep the tank fuller for longer, because when they're on it, they really cause France problems. But this France team looking phenomenal form. Here's the player of the match, Levy. Oh, hits the post to finish. But it's another dominant victory for France. They hit 50 against Wales. They hit 60 against Scotland. And it finishes Scotland 10, France 69. Well, a crushing win in the end, but some glorious rugby been played. 5 days to turn things around now, and that's going to be tough for Scotland. The treatment table is going to be busy. They need to find some props. They need to find some locks. And they'll feel as though they've learnt enough from those opening games to get something against Ireland, who've lost two themselves, but have been within a score both times. As for France, they can dust themselves off. They'll close the show against England, who closed the show today against Wales. Enjoy the highlights, and there were some highlights. Some glorious tries scored. And we'll be back for England versus Wales. It kicks off in half an hour's time.